Yes, Christian, Nicola Sturgeon at the Edinburgh Fringe today, very defiant about this. She said she would vote again tomorrow for the gender reforms that she tried to put through before standing down as First Minister. And the SNP is still trying to overturn the UK government's block on this at the High Court. Nevertheless, this is an issue which has divided public opinion in Scotland. It's also divided opinion within the SNP. I think, probably the most vocal critic within the party has been Joanna Cherry, the Edinburgh MP, and she was actually holding her own Fringe event on the other side of the city today, expressing her concerns. It's a sensitive topic, it's a controversial one, but controversy is always what the Edinburgh Fringe has done best.
I wear the clothes of a sailor. I wear the clothes of a bride.
Laser Weber is one of thousands of acts performing at this year's Edinburgh Fringe.
Who I am is more than just my pieces. And
in a year where gender and identity have become top talking points.
I am a man and a shark ate my penis. And if you don't like that, don't stay. Being trans is not a miserable experience. It's actually a really wonderful and fun experience. And I like being able to discuss that in a lighthearted way.
But discussions around gender reform in Scotland have been far from light-hearted. Across town, this crowd was queuing to see not a performer, but a backbench politician. Extra security had to be put in place for a talk by the SNP's Joanna Cherry, who has gender-critical views. The Stand Comedy Club initially cancelled the event after some members of staff refused to work it. Then they U-turned.
We live in a democratic country. Free speech is a part of our democratic rights. And as long as we're not inciting violence towards anyone, what's the problem?
We're in the vanguard in Edinburgh of the women who supported many trans people. This is why we're so angry about being called transphobic, being called right-wing.
This man came to protest against the event, but there was no disruption.
Please welcome Joanna Cherry, MP.
In front of a supportive crowd, she spoke out against Nicola Sturgeon's attempt to make it easier for a trans person to legally change their gender, something passed at Holyrood, then blocked by the UK government.
But as Nicola Sturgeon herself has said, the Gender Recognition Reform Bill does not give trans people any new rights. That's a direct quote from Nicola. The Gender Recognition Reform Bill does not give trans people any new rights. She's right. It gives anyone, any man, the right to self-identify as a woman, and that's the problem with it. Now,
on another Fringe stage, the former First Minister said she had no regrets about trying to bring in gender reforms and would vote for them again.
Women's rights matter to me more than most other things that we could talk about here. But I also think that what is probably the most stigmatised, vulnerable, discriminated against group in society deserves a better crack at the whip in terms of just being themselves. I don't think these things are irreconcilable. So if I've got a regret, it's that I didn't manage to reconcile them a bit more effectively.
Dad, look! That's you, and that's Mum.
Maria Telnikov's show about growing up with a trans female parent tries to take this issue away from politics and move it back towards personal experience.
Well, I thought initially it would be sort of Gen Z, millennial crowd, but we've had just the most diverse range of people, especially older people, love the show because I think it's just, the show is presenting this as being very normal and fun and funny, and I think that they kind of relate to the universality of it.
You thought I was pregnant?
The Fringe offers new perspectives on a debate that at times has felt toxic, in a place where anyone can have a stage and everyone can have a seat.